So I think you now have seen the basic structure of this particular thing, that is the cleft where the antigenic peptide binds. Okay, so this is the most polymorphic area, right? This is the most polymorphic area, and this is the place where antigenic peptide binds. Now, a very important point you need to understand about this alpha 3 helix. Okay, about this alpha 3 part. You know what is this? Now listen with all your attention. If I can sacrifice this part, then it's all right. Okay. Now listen with all your attention. You can remember that when I was talking about basics of immunology, I had said that actually what happens, T cell interacts with peptide, right? Okay, let me draw this. So T cell, so suppose this is your T cell. Okay, now listen with all your attention. Suppose here is a peptide. Okay, here is a peptide. Okay, now listen with all your attention. Suppose this peptide is actually recognized by a TCR. Okay, a TCR. Okay, T cell receptor. Now, a very important point you need to understand here is this. I said that MHC class 1 molecule will also be MHC class 1 molecule will also be tested by a CD molecule, that is CD8. Okay, now listen with all your attention. Suppose this is a T cell and this is a T cell. Okay, so this type of T cell which have CD8 molecules, they are called CD8 positive cells. Okay, and those T cells which have CD4 molecules, they are called CD4 positive cells. Okay, so now listen with all your attention. CD8 positive cells, listen with all your attention. CD8 positive cells interact with cells having MHC class 1. Remember this for your entire life. Okay, so cells having CD8 molecule on its surface will interact always with MHC class 1. Clear? Will interact with MHC class 1. Clear? Now, a very important point you need to understand here is this. Suppose this is a CD8, suppose this is a CD8 positive T cell. That means it is containing CD8 protein on its surface. Now, CD8 molecule interacts with what? MHC molecule. Now, what I mean is this. Now, the CD8 molecule interacts with which portion of this MHC class 1? Whether it interacts with alpha 1 or alpha 2 or alpha 3. Now, actually CD8 interacts with, this CD8 molecule actually interacts with alpha 3. Clear? CD8 interacts with alpha 3. Now listen, actually this portion, this alpha 3 portion, actually if we can magnify it, actually this portion is nothing but a helical portion. Okay, it's an helical portion. Okay, this is a helical portion. Okay, helical portion. Now, a very important point you need to understand here is this, that as it is a helical portion, now listen with all your attention. With one of the helical portion like this, CD8 actually interacts. CD8 actually interacts with one of the helical portion. Okay, CD8 interacts. Clear? Clear? So if you tell me with which part, alpha 1, alpha 2 or alpha 3 CD8 binds, I will say alpha 3, right? But to which helix CD8 actually binds of alpha 3, then the answer will also be same. Why? Because CD8 binds, listen with all your attention, CD8 binds with specific alpha 3 helical portions. Okay, clear? CD8 binds with specific alpha 3 helical portions. What do you mean by this? Suppose this is an alpha 3 molecule. Suppose this is an helix, this is helix number 1, then there is helix number 2, suppose, then there is helix number 3, then there is helix number 4, okay. Now, so suppose this is the helical portion. Now listen with all your attention. Suppose CD8 binds with this green portion of this alpha 3. Suppose CD8 binds with this green portion of this alpha 3. That means all the CD8 molecules, all the CD8 molecules of CD8 positive cells will bind here only, not here, not here, not here. Clear? Clear? That means the position within the alpha 3 portion, where CD8 interacts with the MHC class 1 molecule is actually same in every species. Clear? Clear to everyone? Now we will be talking about a very interesting thing, that is expression of MHC class 1. Okay, expression of MHC class 1 molecule. Okay, expression of MHC class 1 molecule. Okay, now this is important for you to understand that whenever you talk about the expression of MHC class 1 molecule, then the first thing that should come into your mind is that it is expressed by all nucleated cells. It is expressed by all nucleated cells. It is expressed by all nucleated cells. The first thing you should understand is this, that MHC class 1 is actually expressed by all nucleated cells. Clear? All nucleated cells. Okay. Now, why this is very important? Why this is very important? You know why it is important? Now listen with all your attention. Suppose this is a cell, okay, and it is expressing MHC class 1 molecule here. Okay. Suppose this is your MHC class 1 molecule. So this is alpha 1, this is alpha 2, this is alpha 3, and this is beta 2 microglobulin. Okay. Now, so this is your MHC class 1. Now a very important point you need to understand is this. So do you know what is NK cell or natural killer cell? Natural killer cell. These are very important for your immunology class. Now these natural killer cells actually target those cells, specifically those which do not express class 1 MHC. Okay. Now listen. Suppose there are 3 cells. Okay. Suppose this is the black cell, this is the green cell, and this is suppose the red cell, and these 3 cells suppose are expressing class 1 molecule. Okay. But due to a viral attack, this orange colored cell is expressing a lesser amount of class 1 MHC. Okay. Lesser amount of class 1 MHC, that is the concentration of class 1 MHC molecule on the plasma membrane is decreased. Now what will happen is this: natural killer cell will actually, never kill this cell, nor this cell, nor this cell, but they will attack this cell. They will attack this cell, and it will kill them. Clear? Why? Because natural killer cells actually, when they will find that concentration of class 1 molecule, or class 1 molecule is absent as a whole, then they will actually understand that this cell is foreign. Okay, this is a foreign cell. Okay, now what will happen is this: as this is a foreign cell, as this cell is now treated as a foreign cell, then what will happen is this: then this may happen that NK cell will now actually attack this whole cell and will perform a pathway called perforin granzyme pathway. It is one of the apoptotic pathway, perforin granzyme pathway. And will actually effectively kill this cell. Okay. Now a very important point you need to understand is this: suppose a virus has entered this cell. And viruses actually what they do is they will integrate their own DNA or RNA into your own DNA or RNA, right? They will integrate their DNA or RNA into your DNA, not RNA. You don't have any RNA. Okay. Now what will happen is this may happen that due to that integration there is a significant decrease in the concentration of class 1 molecule, and that's why what will happen is this cell which was earlier healthy, due to a viral attack, may be killed by natural killer cell. Okay, and now listen with all your attention. Upregulation of class 1 and class 2 MHC is increased or decreased by cytokines, and this is called cytokine storm, which is actually killing more people in COVID battle. Okay, clear? Now, so this is actually very much important point for you to understand, that the MHC class 1 is always expressed by all nucleated cells. Why all nucleated cells are protected by MHC? Now listen. Suppose every nucleated cell now is expressing MHC. Why do you think it is very important for your immune system? Because if one of your cell, suppose your lung cell, is not expressing MHC, it will be killed by natural killer cell. That means you will develop autoimmunity. Clear? You will develop autoimmunity, that's it. Because due to the dysregulation, of MHC class 1 gene locus, what happens is this: concentration of MHC class 1 on the plasma membrane decreases. Then what will happen? Is that this natural killer cell will attack that particular cell which is having a concentration of which is having a low concentration of class 1 or does not have any class 1 molecule on its surface. Clear? So this is the importance of this class 1 molecule. Okay. Now another important point you will have to understand with respect to the expression of MHC molecule. Okay. Listen. This is expression of MHC molecule. Expression of MHC molecule is tightly controlled by cytokines. Clear? Now listen with all your attention. Expression of MHC molecules are tightly controlled by cytokines. Not only class 1 but even class 2. But we will now be talking only about class 1 molecule expression and how they are controlled. Okay. Now listen. You know that suppose this is one cell and suppose this is a virus. Okay. You know what I am trying to draw right now in this scenario. Okay. So this is suppose a coronavirus. Now suppose this coronavirus has tried to enter our cell. Clear? Now what will happen is this: when this cell is about to die, it will release a chemical substance so that other cells won't get affected, or at least they can fight this coronavirus, And this cell will send a chemical message, and this chemical message is called this chemical message is called interferon. Interferons. Why it is called interferon? Because they will interfere with the multiplication of this virus. Clear? Now what happens is this: when a virus attacks, whether it is coronavirus or whatever it is, there are many deadly viruses than coronavirus like Ebola and all this. Okay. Now when coronavirus attacks or any virus attacks a cell, then what happens is this: these interferons are released, and interferon receptors are present on the other cells, and they get a fair chance so that they can fight with this so that they can fight with this virus. Okay, so that they can fight with this virus. Okay, clear? They get a fair chance. They are preparing arsenal of enzymes so that they can attack this virus instead. Okay, now a very important point to understand is this, that there are actually 3 types of interferons. We will have a different class on virology. There we will discuss interferons in details. Now there are actually 3 classes of interferons. Okay, there are actually 3 classes of interferons. They are interferon alpha, beta and gamma. Now listen with all your attention. Interferon alpha, beta and gamma, all these 3 interferon activate the expression of class 1 MHC. Okay, all these 3 interferon activate the expression of class 1 MHC on the surface membrane of any cell. Clear? There is another cytokine which is known as TNF, that is tumor necrosis factor or tumor necrotic factor. Tumor necrotic factor also positively affects or upregulates the expression of class 1 molecule on the surface of the plasma membrane of a cell. Clear? And there is another molecule which is known as lymphotoxin. Lymphotoxin. If you just want to remember the 3 essential cytokines which helps in the upregulation of class 1 molecule, these will be the 3: tumor necrotic factor, lymphotoxin and interferons. Okay, alpha, beta and gamma. Now a very important point to understand here is this, that interferon alpha, beta and gamma, all these 3 interferon are actually positively regulating in the upregulation of what? Class 1 molecule. But you need to remember this right now, that only interferon gamma, only this interferon gamma is actively associated with the expression of class 2 molecules and not these 2. Okay, class 2 molecules are upregulated by only interferon gamma, not interferon alpha and beta. Clear? So with this we have actually completed class 1 molecules in details. Now we will be talking about the more tougher portion. Okay, more tougher portion, that is class 2 molecules. Okay, so now we will be dealing with the structural details of class 2 molecule. Okay, now listen with all your attention. For class 2 molecules we need a very interesting part you need to understand here is this, that class 2 molecule actually is a dimer. Class 2 molecule actually is a dimer which is made up of alpha and beta chains, and both these chains are coming from MHC locus. Okay, so like MHC class 1, these membrane spanning regions are loaded with 25 hydrophobic amino acid. Okay, clear? Are loaded with 25 hydrophobic amino acids. So this is the N terminal. Okay, this is the C terminal. Now this is actually the structure of two molecule. So this is the N terminal. So this is the complete structure of your class 2 molecule. Now a very important point you need to understand is this, like class 1 molecule, these are loaded with this transmembrane region is loaded with what? This transmembrane region is loaded with 25 amino acids, sorry, 25 hydrophobic amino acids. Okay, clear? Now listen, step by step we will go. Okay, now listen with all your attention. A very important point you need to understand is this. Suppose this is, this is suppose the beta peptide, and this is suppose is the alpha peptide. Okay, this is suppose is the alpha peptide. Now a very important point you need to understand here is this, that suppose this is the class 2 MHC locus. Okay, and this is suppose the DR, and this is suppose the DP, and this is suppose the DQ region of the MHC locus. This is MHC class 2, locus. Now listen with all your attention. Suppose the DP, suppose the beta portion of this particular MHC, suppose is coming from DR, then remember this for an entire life. The alpha portion will not be made from this DR gene. It will be either made from DP gene or DQ gene. Okay, either DP or DQ, but not DR. Remember this for your entire life. Okay, clear? Now, a very important point you know already, that this is actually the polymorphic region. This is actually the polymorphic region where actually the antigenic peptide binds, right? Now listen with all your attention. So this is the portion where antigenic peptide binds. Now listen with all your attention possible on this earth. Now, a very interesting part is this, that this is the alpha 1 and this is beta 1 and this is the beta 2 and this is the alpha 2 region. Okay, now alpha 1 and alpha 2 actually together form a structure, a cleft, where the antigenic peptide binds. Now listen, so that's why here, now listen with all your attention, in MHC class 1 molecule, what happened is the polymorphic region in MHC class 1 molecule, the polymorphic region was made only by the alpha peptide. But in MHC class 2, what you are seeing is very unique, that is the polymorphic region is made up of both alpha and beta peptides. Clear? Both alpha and beta peptides. That is, which portion of the alpha has been used? Alpha 1. And which portion of the beta has been used? Beta 1. Clear? Okay. So the alpha 1 and the beta 1 portion actually makes the polymorphic area. That means in these areas you can actually see the changes in the amino acid. In these areas you can actually see the changes in the amino acid. That means here single nucleotide polymorphism is highest. Okay. Now listen with all your attention. What happens here is this. Now listen. A very interesting point you need to understand is this, that that here is 25 amino acid, 25 hydrophobic amino acid and all these things. Most of the things are now correct. Now listen. Suppose if I tell you now, suppose if I tell you now that this is a T cell, okay, and there is a peptide here. Suppose there is a peptide here, okay, and the T cell has come to interact with this peptide. Now this is what? MHC class 2 molecule. MHC class 2 molecule will interact with only CD4 positive cells. Okay, right? MHC class 2 molecules will only interact with CD4 positive cells, right? What are CD4 positive cells? CD4 positive cells are actually antigen presentation cell or APCs. One of the best example of APC is macrophage, dendritic cells, macrophage, dendritic cells. They are one of the best examples of they are the best examples of APCs. Clear? Now listen. So suppose here there is T helper type 2, because T helper type 2 oops, sorry. I have actually written down the wrong notation. That is MHC class 2 is present in, MHC class 2 is present in APCs. The best examples of APCs are these and this. Now listen, the CD4 positive cells are T helper type 2, okay? The CD4 positive cells are T helper type 2. So suppose this is your CD4 positive cell T helper type 2. Now listen with all your attention. I am giving you two options. Now, the CD4 molecule, suppose this is a CD4 molecule, and this is also a CD4 molecule, okay? Suppose there are two CD4 molecules. Now tell me, suppose this is CD4 molecule. Now listen with all your attention. What is your concept? Now CD4 will bind with the alpha 2 region or beta 2 region. I am telling you, out of these two, 1 CD4 will actually bind. CD4 of T helper type 2 will actually bind with beta 2 or alpha 2. Now tell me to which segment CD4 will bind. Now listen, CD4 will actually interact with beta 2. Clear? They will never interact with alpha 2. Clear? Okay? Clear? Okay, there is a difference. Why? Because in MHC class 1, CD8 interacts with what? CD8 interacts with what? Alpha 3 portion of the alpha peptide. But in MHC class 2, CD4 interacts with beta 2 portion of the beta peptide. Clear? So this is the difference. Okay? So in MHC class 1, the CD4 molecule interacts with alpha peptide, and which portion of the alpha peptide? That is alpha 3. But in MHC class 2 molecule, CD4 interacts with beta 2 of beta peptide. Clear? Now if I tell you that which peptide, that is suppose MHC class 2 molecules have two peptides, right? Alpha peptide and beta peptide. Now if I tell you which peptide is heavier, that is which one is having more molecular weight, can you tell that? Now listen, alpha is having a molecular weight of 32 to 34 kilodalton, okay? But beta is having a molecular weight of 29 to 32 kilodalton. So you now know which one is heavier. Alpha is always heavier, okay? Alpha, this portion is always heavier. Clear? Now a very interesting point you need to understand here is this, that in class 1, this cleft where antigenic peptide binds can accommodate 8 to 10 amino acids, right, in class 1. But in class 2, they can accommodate up to 30 amino acids. Why? Because in class 2 molecule, this cleft is wide open compared to class 1. Clear? Okay? That means a more or less alright processing of the antigenic peptide can result in the antigen presentation by class 2 molecule. Clear? If I ask you one question, that in MHC molecule, in MHC class 1, how many Ig domains are present, and in MHC class 2, how many Ig domains are present? Can you name that, or can you answer that? Now listen, in MHC class 1, there are 2 Ig domains present. You know where? That is in the beta 2 microglobulin portion and alpha 3. But in MHC class 2, there are also 2 Ig domains present. Okay, you know where are these? Beta 2 and alpha 2. Clear? Beta 2 and alpha 2. Now listen with all your attention. In between these, there are disulfide bonds present. I actually forgot to mention the disulfide bonds in the MHC class 1. In MHC class 1 also, in these Ig domains, disulfide bonds are present. Now a very interesting point you need to understand is this. Here disulfide bond in beta 1 portion is present. Okay? Now listen, what was the structure of class 1 molecule? What was the structure of class 1 molecule? Now listen. What was the structure of class 1 molecule? This was actually the structure of class 1 molecule, right? This is what? This is beta 2 microglobulin. right? This is beta 2 microglobulin. Now a very interesting point you need to understand is this. So this is what? Disulfide bridge. This is disulfide bridge. Now here again there is disulfide bridge. Here again there is disulfide bridge. Clear? Okay. So this is the transmembrane portion. This is having 25 hydrophobic amino acids. Okay, clear? Okay, clear? So this is the side by side analysis of class 1 and class 2. Okay, one another thing is this: it accommodates 8 to 10 amino acids right here, and it accommodates 30 amino acids. Clear? Okay, clear? Now